First, I would like to greet you guys a Happy New Year, and I'm happy to say that I finally completed this fort guide, and I would like to share it to every aspiring newbies who wish to play this simple but awesome game. So we only have two lists of contents here. 1. My tunes, stats, attributes, and equipments with no artifact. Second, the forts. So here's my tune stats, starting with my Claymore Warrior as my tower breaker, and I already highlighted the stats that is important so you won't miss them. And for skills, starting from left to right, I have the Flowing Shadow so I can hit multiple times, Parry Retaliate, Harvest, which is a job lock skill, Hunter's Desire for my AP, and Evasion Instinct also for my AP, and this is my Assassin, stats, bloodline, and attributes. I am still trying to get a Zulzar or Sanid for my Assassin, but their good stats is hard to get. I mean, I have Zulzar and Sanid, but they can't get 100 in bloodline, or at least 80, to get a decent stats potential. And for her skills, I have the Will to Slaughter, Swiftness to counterattacks, Raid, which is a job lock skill, Bloodthirst for my AP, and Evasion Instinct also for my AP. And for my other Assassin, they have a similar stats and skills. That's because I want to have two tanky units. And this is her skills: Will to Slaughter for offense, Swiftness to counterattacks, Raid, which is a job lock skill, Bloodthirst for AP, and Evasion Instinct also for AP. I also have a Longbow Woman, because depending on the fort, you may need a range unit for the job. You may want to get a higher strength and dex for your longbowman, because it's important to one-hit your target to make your longbowman efficiently effective. And for her skills, I have Will to Slaughter for offense, Evasion for defense. It's only level 1, so it's not much. Hold Breath, which is a job lock skill, Bloodthirst for AP, and Evasion Instinct also for AP. I also have a Bishop for its Zealotry skill, so I can break the tower much faster. But you don't necessarily need a Bishop since there's 9 attempts in forts, and my advice for you is, take your time, clear the threats first before going for the tower. And lastly, I have 3 bards for their Flying Eagle Ode skills. It's also important to have a higher, purr, in your bard since they use purr to buff your other tunes. And 2 of my bards use the Weavik guitar for movement buff, and the other one I give him the Fury guitar for damage buff. Now that we're done with my tune stats, gears, and attributes, let's go to the Fortress Guide, and I'll start the guide in Giant Shark Fortress. Here in this fortress, you need to guard your behind, cause enemy reinforcements will start appearing behind you in around turn 4. But apart from that, you're safe. Just carefully calculate your moves. And by the way, always check the obelisk to see their effects. So this is my formation and my first move. We're going to skip the video to turn 4 after my assassin cleared the enemy here in the left side tower. Alright, here comes the reinforcement from the bottom in turn 4, and I have 1 of my assassin guard the bottom flank, while my other assassin is clearing the enemies above. Turn 6, another enemy reinforcements from the bottom. And I think this is the final enemy reinforcements coming from the bottom. The red footmarks means the enemy above can't go yet. That's why they're not moving beyond the red mark. Oh, by the way, in turn 9, enemy reinforcements will appear above near the main tower. So be careful. And we're going to skip the video to turn 9 after my assassin wiped this bunch of enemies here. So turn 9, and here comes the enemy reinforcements near the main tower. And to be safe, be sure that your bards have the Flying Eagle Ode ready to buff your assassin to clear the enemy reinforcements in turn 9. So this is how I cleared the giant shark fortress. So our next fortress would be the Sunlight Fort, which would be the toughest fortress for beginners, apart from the Farcliff and Holy Fortress. And there will be no sound coming from the game, because I accidentally turned off the sound while recording, so I'll just add a background sound for this fortress, lol. Hope this will suffice. So here, you need to be very careful not to step foot on this area here, where the obelisk has a negative effect on your tunes. It's actually an insane debuffs, which renders you from blocking, parrying, or deflecting an attack. And not only that, there's a bunch of pesky longbowmen, which makes this fort a formidable fortress for beginners alike. So for my formation, it's like this. My Claymore warrior is in the middle while both my assassins is on the sides. The worst enemy here is the longbowman and the bleeding effect from Berserker's weapon. Also, my advice for you is be very careful to not step on the obelisk's debuff range, because that's how the longbowman will kill your tunes. Other than that, you should be safe. So here comes my first move. Pow. Chink, stopsk. Chink. Ding. Hemph. Hemph. Chink, stopsk. Hemph. Hemph. Okay, we're good. On my second turn, I'm still trying to hold it together and clearing the enemy one step at a time, since if I make even a single mistake, then it might jeopardize my whole team. And worst, they get another facial injury or permanent injury. Stopsk. 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 There's still more archers left, so I can't move up yet. Otherwise, my bards will get exposed to their range. Chink, schloss. Chink, chink. My assassin is barely holding on, and it's actually my fault because I forgot to change my swiftness skill to evasion skill. But that's okay. So long as I can heal him with my bards, it's all good. But don't forget to equip your assassin with evasion skill if you're going to this fortress, because it's much better than the swiftness skill. So my other tips, apart from staying away from the obelisk range, is just clear the enemies one step at a time. Also, you should focus on eliminating the archer units first, if you can, so your Claymore warrior can advance forward. And I'm going to speed up the video a bit because it's kind of slow. Seems it's okay to move now, and we're going to move our Claymore warrior and destroy that middle obelisk that's blocking the way, and also to remove the enemy buff they get from that obelisk. But don't forget to constantly check the side obelisks, which is the strongest obelisk debuffer in this fortress. But just to be more safe, I would advise you to destroy one of the side obelisks so that you have a free space to move that is safe. And here is why I hate the swiftness skill sometimes. Because your tune will get dragged deep into the enemies while using the swiftness skill. And oof. There goes another facial injury, lol. I could have avoided getting my assassin knocked down. if I use the evasion skill than swiftness in this fortress. So here comes the bear reinforcements. If you equip your assassin with the evasion skill, then you won't have a problem with the bears. So we're almost done, and we're going to skip the video a little bit to the end, after we kick the bears down. All right, I think that's enough demonstration for this fortress. Now let's go to the next fortress, which is the Dawn Fortress. This fortress is actually chill, and the enemy levels here ranges from 80 to level 89. And the only thing that you need to be careful of is the catapults, because they deal so much damage if your level is not higher than theirs. But if your ninjas have the evasion skill, even if their level is 80, then you don't need to worry about them catapults. By the way, the obelisk effect here is to make your toons move to 1 tile per turn. So it's also important to destroy those obelisks to remove those penalties. By the way, my assassin has the swiftness skill here because it's much safer to use the swiftness skill in this fortress than to the sunlight fortress. On my previews attempts, I tried to go straight to the main tower, but them obelisk won't let me move faster to save a turn. So in this video demonstration, I'll just clear the left side tower and clear the fortress on my second attempt. So I began breaking the left side tower, and I think this is enough demonstration, because there's not a point showing how you destroy a tower, lol. But just for the proof, let me show you my second attempt, and let's go skip straight to the main tower. And our next fortress is the Eagle Fortress, where there's no eagle. Here in this fortress, there's a whole bunch of heavy infantry units, so this would be easy peasy for our assassin, because assassin ignores the enemy defense depending on the target's speed difference. But this won't be a walk in the park for us though, cause the enemy level here is still around 80 to 89, that and they have catapults. And also, they have the cheating unit, which is the mace unit that can stun your toon and leave it defenseless, even though the stun chance is around 15%, but it feels more like 90%. So anyways, I'm going on the right side tower, and we're going to go straight to the main tower this time. That's why I have my bishop toon replace one of my bards. But you don't need a bishop or a cleric. 3 bards will suffice in this fortress. Just that, you might need to take the side tower and win the fort on your second attempt. So we almost wiped all the enemies on the right side tower, and there's only few units left. We're going to speed up the video a bit because it feels so slow. But if you can't follow up with the speed, you can adjust the speed. Just click the gears on your top right screen, then adjust the feedback speed. So we're going to eliminate the units on the left side, especially the catapult units, so our Claymore warrior can advance forward, because them catapults are the only units that can deal significant damage to our Claymore man. And there go. We're free to move our Claymore dude up, since there ain't no catapulter on the left side. And we're going to speed up the video a bit more. And there you go, all enemy units cleared. So I'm going to skip the video to the end so we can move on to our next fort. And our next fortress is the Torquise Fort, where there's no gems. So in this fortress, the archers are the #1 threats, and if you're not careful, even your assassin can die due to overwhelming archers, especially the archers in the middle row. So in this fort, I'm going to use my longbow woman to clear the enemy archers hiding behind those walls. And for my formation and first move, it's like this. For my tips and guide on this fort, I would just advise you to carefully clear the enemy one step at a time and don't rush to push forward. Take your time to be safe. And again, we're going to speed up the video. We're going to destroy the right side tower, so we're going to move our Claymore man onto the right with my other assassin as his bodyguard. Whoopsie. My archer almost died. Talking about being careful and take it one step at a time. Lol. Okay, so we almost cleared the enemy archers on the middle row. And now, we're going to skip the video onto my second attempt, because I want to show you something there. So here on my second attempt, my formation is like this, so the enemy archer can't hit my support units. And here's my first move. And later, we're going to let our assassin infiltrate the archers in the middle row to wipe them fast, because we need our assassin to go back to our right flank to defend our tunes from the enemy reinforcements. All right, now that we've cleared the enemy archer in the middle row, we're going to skip the video a bit to the end. So here the enemy reinforcements will start appearing from the left side and will fly to our right side once we start hitting the tower. Like so. So on this point, this fort is as good as won. Just focus on defending your tower buster. So let's go on to our next fort, and that would be the Scabbard Fortress. So in this fortress, I'm just going to say a few things. 1, the enemies here is level 50, weak. And 2, with our current tunes, this fort is a walk in the park. And that's it. All we need to do now is to let our Claymore man move to the main tower and destroy it. So let's go to our next fortress. So here in the Fortress Ring Valley, the enemy's level ranges from 80 to level 88, and bears here are weaker than the usual. Plus, if you have the evasion skill in your assassin, better use it than the swiftness skill. My tips for you here is, don't underestimate the archers here, because they can pass through your tunes and hit your support units instead. So be mindful of their movements. That and enemy reinforcements will come in around the 5th turn close to their main tower, or maybe on the 6th turn, I'm not so sure, but watch out. Also, the berserkers here has high agility, meaning they have high deflect defense, so be careful. So my strategy here is, I went for the side tower, which is on the top, cause it's difficult for me to rush to the main tower cause of their archers and their berserkers' bleeding effect, and it takes time to clear them all out. That, and I need to split my assassin again to defend my bottom right side from the enemy there. So moving on, I didn't actually win this fort, but someone did. Because I joined randomly to try and help the random guys, but someone there is stronger than me and went to clear the fort. So as a result, I won without destroying the main tower, but I get the full reward since I destroyed the side tower. So for our final fort, we have the Seadeath Fort. The enemy levels in this fort is around level 60, and it's actually an average fort. And I'll leave this last video rolling, and this is where our video guide demonstration ends. And as always, thank you for watching, and see you guys on my other videos.